Hello gamers, welcome back, or in case you are new here, I'm NKZL, and in this video I want to talk about a game that just got announced and it is now one of the games that I am looking forward to playing the most in 2024. I'm talking about the sequel to Smite called Smite 2. The original Smite holds a very special place in my heart. I spent thousands of hours playing it. Nowadays, I very rarely play it, but this game has left such a positive impression on me that I still log in from time to time to purchase skins and play a few games, because in my opinion, it is by far the best MOBA out there. So before I talk about what Smite 2 will bring, I want to take a few moments and talk about why I think Smite is the best MOBA, since I believe they will continue to provide the same quality for Smite 2. The other two popular MOBAs are Dota 2 and League of Legends, both of which have evolved into games I very much dislike. But Smite, in my opinion, has always strived to provide a much better experience. The first reason for this is that as live service games, these games need to provide an easy to pick up and enjoyable new player experience. Both Dota 2 and League put a lot of emphasis on archaic systems that make them a terrible experience for anyone new. As a new player to a MOBA that has been out for years, you have plenty of things to focus your attention on. Items and playable characters and their abilities being already a high barrier of entry. However, in both of these other MOBAs, being able to last hit minions, and in Dota 2 being able to pull minions for your jungler and deny minions from your enemies are extremely impactful, making it almost impossible for new players to enjoy without having to go through countless hours of misery. In today's day and age, there is absolutely no reason to put yourself through tens or potentially even hundreds of hours of misery when you can just play a different game. The results of this can be easily seen in the communities of these games, League having arguably the most toxic community in gaming, and it's no surprise when the game, despite being extremely addictive, is such a miserable experience. By comparison, the design principles that Smite has always kept are to focus on things that really matter in a MOBA, like cooperation and skill-based combat. Skills that you might acquire in other games, not only in Smite, and if you have previously acquired them in a different game, you can have an enjoyable and rewarding experience from the very first game you play. On top of this, unlike the other MOBAs, Smite has always provided a variety of game modes that range in number of players and mechanics, making it not only easy to pick up for new players, but it provides exponentially more replayability for long-term fans. Another thing that Smite has always done better than any other MOBA is monetization. These developers have shown that greed does not need to cloud a company's judgment. Being a third-person MOBA, they need to put in a lot more work into new characters and even skins. Despite this, the monetization has always been way better. For example, you can make a one-time purchase of a god pack that costs around £20 and gives every single playable character that has been released and all future releases. This means that for £20 you will be basically unlocking all the game, and the company will not try to milk you with every single character release. The way they make their money is through cosmetics. The last reason why Smite will always be a superior game is the fact that the developers always try to be inclusive of all gamers. Smite is available on all gaming platforms except mobile. They are striving to unite and provide a game that all of us as gamers can enjoy together regardless of the platform we choose to use, something that other MOBA developers cannot be bothered with. All this sounds great, however, just like any game that has been out for a long time, Smite is now an old game. Especially since it's built in Unreal Engine 3, it is showing the limits of the engine. Smite 2 on the other hand is a game made in Unreal Engine 5, and this comes with improvements to every single detail of the game. The developers didn't just take everything they built for Smite and dump it into Unreal Engine 5 and call it a day. They reworked all the elements from the ground up to make sure they are in line with what is expected from an Unreal Engine 5 game, while also maintaining the style people come to love about Smite. These reworks will include physics, remodels of characters, reworked animations, new effects, considerably better lighting, and much more. Such as little details that you might not even notice consciously, but be sure that your subconscious will, such as skills that generate frost, freezing the ground around them, or skills that generate rain, wetting the ground, as well as everything included in sound design. I say this quite often in my videos, but the devil is in the details, and one of the ways you can see if a developers have passion for their product is by taking a look at small details like this. In my opinion, these little details are the difference between a good game and a great one. You should also expect a variety of changes to some of the skills. Like Ymir, for example, will be able to use his pillar to push himself forward, while others will maintain their current skills just with improved animations and graphical elements. All these upgrades are fantastic, but at the end of the day, they are just better versions of what is already there, and Smite was not a perfect game to begin with. One aspect where Smite was lacking was when it came to items. So they are taking this opportunity to majorly rework how items function. Items will be reworked from the ground up, and they will be more in line with the better systems available in other MOBAs. For example, if you want to build an attack speed item, you will buy a bow that provides you with attack speed. And every item that has attack speed will have this component in their composition, making the whole itemization system much more intuitive and easier to learn. Another major change to this aspect of the game is that relics will be now gone. Each character will start with two default abilities, one to remove crowd control and one to place a ward. All the activatable effects have been moved to items, similar to how it is in other MOBAs. This basically fixes the lacking itemization options while also maintaining the previous system for those that prefer items with only stats and passives. Having extra buttons to press will now be a choice entirely up to the player. Another major change related to this system is that now all characters will be able to act as all items. Characters will have two primary stats, intelligence and strength. Most abilities will scale based on these two multipliers, which will end up providing more variety and more build options to every single character. Of course, the game will have a lot of other improvements. Their main map will see stealth bushes being added and even a teleporting feature to make rotating around the map much faster and create more engaging games. A lot of quality of life changes will also come, such as having to press a button to pick up the buff so you don't accidentally steal the buff from one of your teammates, which was a highly requested feature. However, I said in the beginning that this is a sequel and not just an update to Smite. It is an entirely new game. Smite, for example, has over 1600 skins, and it is unreasonable to expect them to port everything to Smite 2. If you remember, I said earlier that this company is not like the vast majority of gaming companies, and they are not trying to milk players for every single penny. Most companies that make a sequel just wash their hands of the older version and only focus on the newer one. Think about the Call of Duty franchise, for example. They also understand that some players might not want to play Smite 2. So with that in mind, they will continue to keep the original Smite online and continue to update it for as long as there is a demand. On top of that, every new skin they release from now on will be cross-game skin, meaning if you purchase it in Smite 1, it will be made available to you in Smite 2 when that character gets added. But they didn't stop there. They are introducing two new systems for fans of Smite that will be interested in moving to Smite 2. The first system will be Legacy Gems, which is a form of cash-up currency. Every single gem that you have ever spent in Smite 1, this will include free gems that they give out regularly, as well as the gems you purchased, will be converted into Legacy Gems in Smite 2. Legacy Gems will be used to reduce the price of everything in the game by up to 50%. Coupled with the fact that this game has cheap prices by comparison to other games in the genre, this will make it even cheaper. The second system is called Divine Legacy. Smite has been online for over 10 years now, and for each one of those years we'll have a milestone. If you have not completed them, you will still be able to grind them after the system goes live and claim 11 free skins in Smite 2, one for each year of Smite. Another important aspect of monetization is that they will be following the same principles as they did in Smite 1. So people will be able to purchase a god pack that will give them access to all current and future characters. This all sounds fantastic, at least for someone like me that has been waiting for Smite 2 for years. But the real question here is, when can we play it? Well, they said that they want to get it in the hands of the public in the spring of 2024, so it should be relatively soon. It is important to know that this will be a true alpha, so there will only be a limited character roster available and a lot of features outside the core gameplay might be missing, and as expected of a game in an alpha state, it will be rough around the edges. If you are looking for a consistent experience and not a test environment, you'll have to wait until autumn of 2024. And hopefully, by the beginning of 2025, they might have a complete game that will have most, if not all, the stuff that is available in Smite 1. Please take these dates with a grain of salt, as this is my prediction based on their previous work and it might not be accurate. All we know for sure right now is that we will be able to play it in spring of 2024. Personally, I'm super excited and I simply cannot wait to play Smite 2, so I will probably make an update video when it will become available for public testing. That's all for now. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you think of Smite 2, like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. See you in the next one, gamers!